There's only 4 of them in our platoon. It's a big responsibility. It's the belt-fed 7.62 machine gun. That's the area weapon that gets motherfuckers' head down a lot faster than an M4.
How long had he been in the SEALs?
It was his first deployment. He was a new guy. So
leave some Dallas Cowboys toilet paper in there too.
Absolutely. That's where it belongs.
That's right.
Let's be honest. Go Cowboys.
Wow, that's just imagine, because that wasn't his only one either.
No,
right?
no,
he had multiple.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually. I mean, it was one of his more impressive ones, but the main palace that he lived in and spent most of the time in was in proper Baghdad, and it was like, I remember, talking to guys that when they raided that place, like all of his shit was still there. Like that's where he lived all the time. So he didn't have much in the palace that we took down. Like it had been either looted or moved out or whatever, mostly. So
you slept there?
Yeah.
You slept in beds there?
No, we would position ourselves either on the rooftop if we had watch, or down in like that entryway right there, like as kind of a security thing. So we would spend time throughout the day in different parts and whatever, but yeah, we were usually either at the very top or at the very bottom. But
how many days were you there?
It was a few weeks. I don't remember exactly how many, but
chilling in the world's greatest resort for a few weeks.
Fucking A, yeah.
You go swimming in the little fucking moat right there?
I didn't, just because I don't trust any of the fucking water there. So I didn't get in the river. Yeah, like in any natural body of water there, I'm not getting in it unless operationally I have to, so
probably for the best.
For sure. Yeah. I don't need any, I don't need to bring drippy dick home because of a fucking, some nasty pool.
Although, you know what? I went down to the Amazon jungle with my buddy Paul Rosley, who's lived there for 19 years recently. And like before we were going, he was saying, he's out of his fucking mind. But he was saying all this shit we were going to do. He's like, oh yeah, bring your bathing suit. We're going swimming. I'm like, the fuck we are. I'm not going with the anacondas and piranhas and shit. I'm like, no. He's like, no, we're going swimming. I'm like, Malaka, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Literally the first day we walk down the one trail, we get to the other side. He's like, all right, let's go in. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And we did it every day.
No problem.
And like, no problem.
Yeah.
But
no weird fucking burns when you pee kind of shit.
Well, that's the thing. I held my dick clenched in there because there is something that it's got like a long Latin name, so they don't call it that, but they call it the penis-eating fish.
Yeah. So you're doing the Buffalo Bill tuck the whole time?
Yeah. It'll literally like climb up there and start eating.
Man,
so
I don't need any of that.
Yeah, no one was peeing in there, but it was like a lazy river. You're just floating down the Amazon River.
That's
it was
wild,
great,
man.
You should have done it in the Tigris right here.
I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that, and I still would today, but.
Did he leave behind any scotch or anything for you? Anything like 600 years old that was good?
No, not like that. There were really cool relics, though, like stained glass. It was essentially a window, but it was like a stained glass portrait window of him. Or like there were these, plates on the door that were like, the Iraqi eagle and the green banner and like the flag. And so there were elements to it like that were really cool and well done and what have you. But as far as like the guys down in Baghdad that, like dude's clothes are there and his, one of his wives or mistresses' safes full of fucking jewelry and shit like that. Like they ran into shit like that and gold plated AKs and pallets of fucking cash and all kinds of
that's what I'm talking
crazy
about.
Shit. But
that was kind of gone. Still though, that's pretty crazy. You were there for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then what made you move out? Like what was the whole op tempo there?
So basically at that point we had now been on deployment for over 7 months. And so our rotation was coming to an end. While we were there though, we had 24/7 manning, at least 2 guys on radio and just watch on top of the palace all the time. And I talk about it in the first book that I wrote. There was going way the fuck back to where that guy quit. As we were getting ready to go into country, one guy's like, I can't do it. Fucking SEAL, quit. Our intel guy, who was like 20, hadn't been through BUD/S, wasn't a SEAL, was an intel guy, but was like a wrestler in high school and was a pretty tough dude. And we were like, what the fuck, and he's like, I'll go.
Oh, he just volunteered.
And we were like, what? He's like, I'll take his spot. And we're like, you're a fucking intel guy. He's like,
fuck it.
I'll go. We're like, we just kind of looked around, and I think even like that nowadays, I don't think would fly, like even in, a little over 20 years. But
Real fast, I'm sorry to make you go back for a sec. Those podcasts you did, I believe it was Sean Ryan episode 4 and episode 5. I listened to those a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They're amazing. I remember you went through that story, but for people who haven't heard that, can you just explain the one guy who just bailed here?
That comment where I said, we had a guy that was like, at what point do we not go do this?
Yeah.
That was him. And so he like our OIC grabbed him and just threw him in the back. I mean, he was a deer in the headlights on that GoPlat mission. He basically just fucking couldn't do it.
Just froze.
So when we went back, we go up to Ali Aslim. We're getting ready to cross the border. And right at the last second, he's like, guys, I can't do it. I'm sorry. And we're just like, fuck you, leave then. And so he was a 60 gunner, which there's only 4 of them in our platoon. It's a big responsibility. It's the belt-fed 7.62 machine gun. That's the area weapon that gets motherfuckers head down a lot faster than an M4.
How long had he been in the SEALs?
It was his first deployment. He was a new guy. So anyway, and coincidentally, his younger brother was also a SEAL and was the exact opposite of that. Like, this dude had balls that you needed to carry around in a fucking wheelbarrow. Like, he was an absolute fucking badass in Iraq and did all kinds of crazy heroic shit. And was just a total fucking monster and got his hands dirty for Uncle Sam, like, I don't know how many fucking times.
What does he think of that whole thing?
I never talked to him about it. I can imagine. But but anyway, so
Okay.
this guy's like, well, fuck it, I'll do it. And we're like, all right, well, here's how you fucking shoot this. And sit in this seat and point the barrel out. And if you see us start shooting at shit, shoot at it also. And that was his direction, basically. And so...
What a savage.
Total. And so after that deployment, he comes back, very quickly went to Buds and has been a SEAL for like 20 years after that. So I think he may even still be on active duty, so I won't say his name. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, total fucking badass. But he and I are on the rooftop, and it's in the middle of fucking night, and from that vantage point, you can see the Tikrit Airport, which is the Air Force airstrip. And underneath it, they had all of their munitions. I mean, not just ammo. I mean, like missiles, fucking bombs, explosives, you name it. They had all of their shit stored underneath the airport, which, to me, even not understanding anything, it seems like a dumb place to put that stuff, because that's generally going to be target number one is airfields. But so we bombed the shit out of that. And so for like the whole time we were there, this airfield, this airstrip, it looks like the surface of the sun, like with solar flares. Like, it's just blowing up constantly for 2 weeks, just shit going off all the time. And so we're just like 5-year-olds playing with matches, like just staring at this carnage blowing up, being fascinated by it. And then all of a sudden, these 3 little blips of light from a different part of the city, a little further south and a lot closer towards us. You see blip, blip, blip. And we're just kind of sitting there and don't think much of it. And then all of a sudden, 3 explosions about 400 yards directly south of where we're at. And immediately I'm like, oh, fuck. And then 3 more blips. And then now it's like 200 yards south of where we're at. Then 3 more. And now it's like rattling the fucking windows right south. So they're just walking mortars into us. And we look at each other. We're like, I guess this is it. We can't get off this rooftop. It's going to hit the roof. We're fucking dead. We're 5 stories up.
Whoa.
So we're just like, holy fuck. And no sooner than we kind of looked at each other like, how about a high five, or like, what the fuck are we going to do? All of a sudden, from across the river, you hear this like mechanized whirl of Optimus Prime having an orgasm, like this weird, just this crazy fucking mechanical whizzing sound and whatever. And then all of a sudden you just hear this whoop, 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 and all these flashes of lights from coming over there. And then where those 3 blips were just fucking disappeared.
Off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I mean, completely fucking evaporated them. And come to find out, it was an Army anti-artillery unit that, like, when those flashes of light go off, it has, radar and all these fucking mechanisms. And I don't know how it works. Thank God it does. Like, triangulates, and like after so many rounds, it can pinpoint exactly where it was fired from. And then it fires a bunch of fucking rounds and just fucking leveled it. Totally. Whoa. I mean, there's no way I'd be sitting here had they not been there. No fucking way.
So like right before there was going to be fire your way, they got it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, just literally in the fucking nick of time.
Now it's the 2 of you on the roof, and then the other 14 guys, some guys are
they're all tits up asleep down below.
Yeah.
Oh, there was 2 of them awake. Everybody else is asleep.
You can't like sound the alarm like, boys, get up here.
Well, I mean, it didn't matter at that point. Yeah, I mean, it was just like it happened so quick. It's
Yeah.
like we're 5 stories up. You're taking stairs up and down. There's no power. So yeah, it was, and even to get onto the roof, it's like the top room or level in the palace. Like there's this hatch and a ladder. Well, you got to like climb up, and yeah, I mean, it took a couple of minutes to get up and down. So
Whoa. So then when did you shipped out after like 3 weeks?
yeah,
And that
so
was because the deployment was coming to an end?
yeah, and during that time, like we would go do sniper overwatches. We would go hit targets. We were doing shit during then. It was just kind of hit and miss, and similarly, it was like by that time, the insurgents weren't really doing the insurgent thing to the degree with which they ended up doing, 6 months later. It was a lot of just pockets of shit here and there, trying things out. There was no organization. The military was completely disbanded or had given up or had taken their uniforms. The ones that still wanted to fight weren't sticking around in uniform. They were just dissolving into the public. And so it was mostly that kind of stuff, is dealing with little pockets here and there. But
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.